Hi, I'm Jess, part-time Hobbit. I'm here to talk to you about Tolkien.
And I'm Dylan, and you might remember me from such hits as Man-Spider versus the Green Gorbo. Written, directed, and co-starring me.
It's over.
It never ends.
Speaking of things that never end, we are here to watch the second half of the Finnish adaptation of The Lord of the Rings. So if you aren't caught up, this is a 1993 adaptation that began as a stage play and then was later put on Finnish television. We enjoyed the first half, mostly. It was definitely an improvement from the Soviet one, which I will link in the iCards if you haven't seen that one. And if you haven't seen part one of this, I am also going to link that right about now. You don't necessarily need to have watched the first half, but a lot of the things that we said about the first half we're not really going to be reiterating this time. So without any further ado, we are going to start on part 2 or episode 5 of the Finnish Lord of the Rings.
Let's finish this. Oh, the boys are back.
I forgot how engaging this was. Ooh, a musical
number. But it is nice to also just have more musical pieces in it. He's made a huge mistake.
Why is it in slow-mo, but not slow-mo, they're just talking slowly?
Me when I'm at the morgue.
Is that Boromir? Why does Boromir have a mohawk?
So into that look. It's a shame because it's probably not that bad of a prop.
It looks like a gigantic butter knife.
Yeah.
Bring the child! Bring out the old man!
Old man now. Bilbo Baggins, the Hobbit himself.
So that's Gimli. That's not enough beard! Is he crying?
Guess so.
Or just high?
So that's it, huh? We're some kind of a fellowship of the ring. Oh, they've really wasted no time in reforging that sword.
That just looks like tinfoil. It looks like one of those space blankets. It probably is. Another musical number.
Interesting that the first half had really just that one. I'm willing to bet that there were probably a lot more musical bits
that got cut.
Especially from like the Shire stuff.
It's so chaotic. It looks very much like a stage show.
He's twerking. He was twerking.
He's got his tinfoil shirt on, boys!
Oh, I guess he missed. He misstepped. We're gonna watch that one more time.
That's my leftover spaghetti going down the garbage disposal. Whoa, I forgot that this was a framed narrative.
Oh, right.
That's me outside of Applebee's when we tried to steal drink glasses and someone dropped them and then the Applebee's employee told us to get out and never come back. Some of that's a true story.
Yeah, I remember that.
God, that wig is awful!
It looks like a yarn wig sometimes. Look at Boromir's stance. Fitted up.
It's such a shame that Gandalf got sucked down the mortal toilet.
Yeah.
If the trees are laughing, do not enter. Now, if the lake starts talking to you, then you might be a medieval king. I mean, I guess this is a way to not have them, go all the way into Lorien. I like that they implicitly trust the face floating in the uncomfortably green lake.
I would, really. I mean...
He's just crying!
Been crying this whole time.
You can tell they're on a boat, because it keeps showing you water moving.
And then it cuts to them moving.
They're just stabbing the water. What kind of boat is this?
A really fast one.
Haltijat ja puolihaltijat he saattaisivatkin joutua perikatoon. Puhdassydämisiä ihmisiä ei voi turmella. Minä en himoitse velhoruhtinaiden valtaa, vaan voimaa puolustaa itseäni. Voimaa oikealle asialle ja katsoa.
You know, your argument here may be more effective if you weren't hunched in the background after having not spoken a singular word to him for this entire series. Why is he so wet?
Why does the wetness carry over into the hairline?
What's going on?
Does he have a samurai sword?
That's a katana.
Yeah.
What is the choice that was made? Is this his death?
We're not even gonna... He just stood there and was like... I do kind of like how they're just sticks.
Honestly, one of the best deaths in cinematic history.
Look at how they massacred my boy.
My racially and culturally ambiguous boy.
I didn't realize how dire of a position he was in. Uh-oh. The second you see this guy, you know there's trouble.
Olipa onni, että se kesti niin kauan kuin kesti. Ajatellaan, että minä luotin painoni sinun solmusi varaan.
Ai jaha. Mä en ole mikään haka kiipeämässä, mutta ei tiedä sentään yhtä.
They're kind of jerks to each other. I'm sure that they're trying to do something with like the ring influencing Frodo at this point, but even like the base relationship of them is just not there.
Yeah, it is not coming through. Great. He just looks so big. Like, not fat, he just looks like meaty, which is so much more terrifying for Gollum.
He looks like more of a physical threat.
There's not much pity when it's just a full-grown man having a mental breakdown. Not that we shouldn't pity fully grown men having mental breakdowns. I am like 100% with Sam
There
this
it is.
time.
There's the face.
What are you gonna do against him? He could pile drive you off of a cliff.
He's kind of like a cross between Jim Carrey and Danny DeVito. You know what I'm saying? Although, if it was Danny DeVito doing Gollum, I think that might be one of his best roles ever.
If this was Danny DeVito, no hate, no criticism, I'm in.
This guy is giving it his all.
That's the thing. I don't want to hate on him because he's giving the performance of his life. I think it's just the choice made by the director.
I think it's also, like, because it's a TV movie,
Right.
there are not a lot of opportunities to get close-ups. It's just like that television framing of, okay, we're gonna get everybody in one shot and we're just gonna keep it there. If he was doing that exact same performance on stage, you would see every single movement from the back row. We just saw his balls. We just saw Smeagol's balls.
I'm gonna have to blur it out! Why? The cameraman had to see it, okay? So I'm assuming it was like, okay, well, Jeff saw that. Jeff saw it with his little eyes, and if we let this shot go to waste and don't show anyone else in the world, Jeff has gone fully blind for nothing.
Every time he turns around, I get a little scared.
A shiver goes through me. Is that Kiss?
I was gonna say the exact same joke.
Like, they legitimately look like an 80s rock band. I love this scene in Monty Python, The Holy Grail.
What is the capital of Assyria?
Is it not the same set?
It is literally, and he's doing the exact same voice that the Bridge Keeper does. Cool.
The Eye of Sauron.
I can't believe that I've seen every part of that man. Yoda as a marriage counselor.
May divorce be with you.
I think that one could go down in history as a top 10 for me. I think. Whoa.
We didn't see Caleb?
No, we just saw him.
Me trying to lift 2 gallons of milk at once.
Us watching this now.
I like how small it is.
We got 2 of those. Wow.
That's definitely stock footage.
Yes, certainly. He kind of looks like Morbius.
The whiteness of his hair makes his face look like a zombie.
Yeah. Which I guess he is, kind of. He really does not look healthy. He looks...
Why is he gray?
Wow, we went on a great adventure that I guess you'll never see.
Maybe now that he's not in that white room, Gandalf will not look... Nope. Is that Inigo Montoya?
Yeah.
He does not look
Not
good.
look good, no.
He's got that Gandalf energy. I do enjoy the montage of emotional moments as a plot device. He did not age gracefully. And the Shire has not improved its infrastructure if they are all still living in shacks.
Is he gonna start lifting off the ground?
Is he gonna spin off?
Oh, he just disappears into pixels.
We made it. That was a little painful at times.
I think I liked this half better.
This half had more shocking moments, but for some reason, Dylan, that felt eternal. I think having watched this second half, I could recommend this as a, like, watch party with friends and maybe some drinks experience, but I will say that there are parts that you're either going to want to have this on in the background while like another game or something is happening or everyone's talking.
If you are an experienced bad movie watcher, if you get a group of people that can sit through that kind of stuff, I know several people, I am among them. If the only bad movie you've ever seen is The Room, then this is just going to be something you put on in the background.
I want to talk about the choice that they made to only follow Frodo and Sam. Before we had watched this, I was thinking that that might be a good idea just because they were knowing their limits and only telling the part of the story that they were confident that they could tell. However, what I didn't realize is how much of a slog it would feel like to just follow these two characters. And it's not that any of it was inherently bad. The whole point of Frodo and Sam's journey here is that it's long and painful and very tiring. And so when you as the audience are only tracking with them, it is long, it is painful, and it is tiring.
Yeah, you really feel the missing chunk of story because there's almost no resolution with the rest of the Fellowship.
Yeah.
The only people we see are Merry and Pippin.
And Gandalf.
And Gandalf at the end. You hear about them, you hear that.
You hear what happened, but that is definitely not the same as actually getting to check back in with them.
Yeah, and I mean, there's even a moment when Gandalf mentions that Aragorn is about to be crowned and he's waiting for them. And I was like, oh, we're gonna see...
Yeah, we're gonna see the coronation.
We're gonna reunite and that'll be a nice moment. And then they just don't even do that.
I don't think I would say that this is a good adaptation of The Lord of the Rings.
No, especially because you look at the changes that they do make and you look at the moments that they could have changed that they didn't. There's no real clear reason why they didn't change the other things. And I know also that this is based off of a 6-hour stage play.
Right.
There are 3 hours of story that are not in this that were in that stage play, especially with this second half, especially when they leave the Fellowship and there's no payoff to any of that. It's like, well, then why did you even have the Fellowship? Just adapt it so that it's just the 4 hobbits going on this journey, because that would have been a better way of doing it for this medium.
And it's insane to me that they cut out so much of the story, but then it still felt so long. This also made me very grateful for the chemistry that Sean Astin and Elijah Wood had, because this made me realize how important that relationship was to keeping that part of the story connected and moving.
Those two characters never really share much warmth in this version.
No.
Because for the first half, they don't get a lot of screen time of just the two of them talking to each other. And then in this half, as soon as they leave the Fellowship, Frodo is instantly kind of just being a jerk.
And Sam is so stupid. That's something that a lot of adaptations do, and that's something that I am very glad that they didn't do in Peter Jackson's version, because I don't think he's a stupid character. You can have a character that's simple without having him be actively stupid, because there were points where I was like, yeah, Frodo's being a jerk, but Sam's being an idiot.
He's so annoying at points.
Yes.
That it almost makes it justified.
I didn't hate this. I mean, I don't think it was a good Lord of the Rings adaptation, but I definitely didn't hate it. It was a fun watch.
I do think that the highlights in this were a lot more fulfilling than the highlights in the Soviet
Yes.
Lord of the Rings.
I think it really helped that this made a lot more sense than the Soviet one.
Yes.
I think that the people who wrote this had a much better comprehension of the story. Do I think some choices were definitely misguided? Yes. But I think that they at least did have an understanding of the story more so than they did in the Soviet version.
And it definitely helped that people making this were the people who made the stage play.
Right.
They definitely knew at least how to tell the entire tale.
It was all, like, there for the most part. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. We definitely did. We had fun, despite my many complaints.
It was wonderful.
It was so...
I'm impressed that we got through both of these parts without even a drop of liquor.
We are going to be continuing the series of obscure adaptations, including the Bakshi version, as well as some other strange adaptations. He also hasn't seen The Hobbit, and I think that that counts as an obscure adaptation of sorts.
I mean, the definitive adaptation of any adaptation ever,
Yeah.
I've heard.
This series may get kind of pushed to the back burner, but we will be back with more obscure adaptations, so make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any of my uploads.
Please take the time to like the video, comment if you have seen this, and if you haven't seen this, also comment.
Let us know what your favorite moment from this was.
I know
'cause
what mine was.
for me, it's like there's a couple of moments that I really love, but I am incredibly curious to see what shocked you guys most.
Donate to her Ko-fi. The link is in the description down below.
Thank you all so much for going through this experience with us this week, and I hope that you all have a very happy, hobbity day.